Today, this day, September 22nd, officially marks the first day of the fall season. Pretty soon we're going to be having Thanksgiving. I don't know what your family tends to serve up, but if I were to be at your family's table for Thanksgiving and you want to serve me some humble pie, I'm going to throw it in the trash and walk out. The Minnesota Vikings are the best team in the league, as this video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. 31-20 was my official prediction for this game in a Vikings win. The actual final score, 34-7. The way this game was going, how dominant the Vikings were, to where they kept, at times, consistently shooting themselves in the foot. The final score should have been 48-7, at least. Brian Flores, whatever the Vikings are paying you, they're not paying you enough. Give this man a lifetime contract. Give the man his money. He's making all the haters, every single hater towards the Vikings, he's making you all look silly. Not just making you look silly, but these teams that you swear up and down are going to kick the Vikings' ass, he's making those teams look silly. You look at CJ Stroud, this is one of the better up-and-coming quarterbacks in the league, a borderline superstar. Huh? 20 for 31, 215 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, got sacked 4 times. I said the main element in this for the Vikings to win is the pass rush versus the Texans' offensive line, which is an absolute disgrace. Laramie Tunsil at one point was a star left tackle, a franchise left tackle, someone you could just trust to be the cornerstones of your franchise. You pay him all this money. He had one of the worst performances of an offensive lineman I've ever seen. By my count, 5 penalties today. Also couldn't protect his quarterback. The pass rush, that was the main thing, and they got after it. If they weren't sacking him, they were getting hits on him. CJ Stroud could never get comfortable. You go down the list of these players. On the defensive side of the ball, Andrew Van Ginkel, another great game for him. Cam Bynum got an interception, as well as Camus Grugier-Hill filling in for the injured Ivan Pace Jr. Imagine if Ivan Pace Jr. played in this game. What? It would have been even more of a disaster for Houston. Psh, Houston, we have a problem. Well, actually, technically, you don't anymore because the game is over. You're free to move on, get out of Minnesota, recuperate yourselves, and lick your wounds. But the Minnesota Vikings were a problem, a big problem for you today in this game. Harrison Smith had a great game. Josh Metellus, Byron Murphy. I can't wait till we move on and replace your position next year. Jonathan Grenard had a 3-sack game today. Hey, and if I was still doing the segment I used to do before the NFL frowns upon it or decided to frown upon it, I used to take game clips and have what was called the double R play of the game. But the NFL likes to put copyrights out there, so I can't do it anymore. But if I still did it, Jonathan Grenard had the play of the game for me versus Cade Stover, one of his 3 sacks. This was the equivalent of varsity versus JV. And there wasn't any special move that Grenard did. This was just a grown-ass man. Pushed Cade Stover on his ass, went through him, and got the sack on CJ Stroud. Stroud looked flabbergasted the entire game. Could never get comfortable. And Cam Akers, I'll get back to the players to make sure everybody, as well as I can do, gets their praise. But Cam Akers, Joe Mixon's out, Dameon Pierce is out. So Cam Akers is the guy. 2.3 yards per carry. He did end up getting a touchdown. Good for him. I think that was on the drive where Byron Murphy gave up the 3rd and 11 conversion for a first down. But Brian Flores and this defense, you can't, any team that you put in front of this man, any offense you put in front of Brian Flores, come on, man. Even if the Vikings lose, you're going to have to work for every single inch that you get. The hell are we talking about? And where did I stop with the praise at? Jonathan Grenard. Talked about him. Jonathan Bullard was really good. Blake Cashman. Talked about Camus Grugier-Hill. Shaq Griffin. Towards the end when the Texans wanted to stat pad with Stephon Diggs. Got a pass break up there. Their final possession. Man, what are we doing here, man? Patrick Jones showed up in a big way, filling in for the injured Dallas Turner. Jalen Redmond got a sack. This is the best team in the league. And it's not even close. And some of you were saying this in the live stream, and I echo this as well. We want Mahomes. We want the Chiefs. And forget the national media, Vegas, you want to keep putting us as underdogs in these games? A 1.5 point underdog to the Texans at home, US Bank Stadium? Hell, I need to start investing more money to take money from you. By the way, if you're going to bet on the Vikings or anything related to the NFL, sign up for a BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. Get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your second and third deposits up to $2,000. Just use the promo code YouTube150. And now we get to the offense. Let's give it up for Sam Darnold. This is a tough-ass football player right here. This man got hurt from a dirty play by Danielle Hunter, and it looked like it was going to be bad, and I was beside myself where I said, no, you can't do this. This cannot happen. This season is going so great that we can't have nothing like this happen. Like a severe injury to Sam Darnold. I can't stomach the idea of watching Nick Mullins carry the torch the rest of the way, the remaining 14 games. I can't do it. But it looked pretty bad. And turns out he was still on the sidelines. He put his helmet back on. He was moving back and forth with his footwork. And I said, hell yeah. All right. He's going to be out for this drive, but he'll come back. He was out for just a play and came back in. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to have to monitor his status, his health status, during the injury report this week. But he came back in. That's a good sign. Sam Darnold killed it today, despite having inefficient protection from his offensive line. Garrett Bradbury, oh my God. Dude, how do you manage to kill 2 drives off false starts? How do you manage to do that? It was a battle between Bradbury and Laramie Tunsil as far as who's the worst offensive lineman today. Turned out it was Tunsil. And Bradbury was bad, but Tunsil was even worse than that. Ed Ingram as well. And despite that, the man threw 4 touchdowns. Chilling. Justin Jefferson, an off game for him. 6 catches, 81 yards, a touchdown. Had 2 drop passes in the second half. Not like him, but it's a one-off. Jalen Naylor got a touchdown today. That's 3 games to start the season. 3 touchdowns for Jalen Naylor. Incredible. Johnny Munt caught a tough touchdown pass in between 2 defenders. And that's Sam Darnold making it happen, making the throws, doing what's necessary. You got the coaching. You've got the weapons. You've got a defense that will get you the ball back just as soon as you get off the field yourself? Sam Darnold. He's that guy. And then the run game. Aaron Jones didn't fumble. Thank God. Did the opposite of last week against San Francisco. 19 carries, 102 yards on the ground. Excellent. Excellent work today. The Minnesota Vikings are the best team in the league. Put anybody against this team, and it's either going to be close in a loss for Minnesota, or it's going to be, at this rate, a blowout win. You'll have some close wins, of course. At some point, there will be a nail biter this season. Maybe next week. But this team is for real. It's legit. And this team is only going to get better. And don't talk to me, Texans fans, about, well, we didn't have Joe Mixon, so that really changed things for us. Oh, okay. The Vikings were also without Jordan Addison, their number 2 receiver, and they've been without TJ Hockenson. Huh? It goes both ways. No bitching and moaning. The Texans got absolutely rocked. And we tried to warn you about it. But even again, just like Niners fans, although it's all in good fun, on TikTok, our show Purple Parlor with Rap and SK, giving the Vikings-Texans preview. Oh, you guys are idiots. Oh, of course, you're Vikings fans. Of course, you're going to pick the Vikings to win. How ironic. Of course. My score was 31-20. Apparently, I gave your team too much credit. Again, shout out to the folks at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. We'll see you next time.